Hey there, welcome to the Happy Teaching Podcast. Today we are talking all about book boxes and how to use them in pre-K and kindergarten. We're gearing up for this summer's rounds of the Playful Learning All Year, or PLAY for short, course. We host it twice this summer, and then it comes around again next year. So if you're not registered, the details will be below for you in the show notes, below, above, depending on which platform you're watching on. Somewhere in the show notes, you will find the details to register. And one of the biggest benefits of going through the play course, and one of the biggest things that you're going to notice in your classroom, is how much more independent your students are. Not just the fact that we're going to have a much more developmentally appropriate space, but your students are going to be so much more independent. You are going to be able to feel like you're not constantly putting out fires and just managing things all day long. And one of the things that we do to encourage this is to have book boxes for kids. Now, book boxes are an amazing tool for having students independently, of course, obviously have books, but it also is a way for students to bring things to their small groups with you, to house important things, especially if you are not using assigned seating and you're really letting students be in various places throughout the day and utilizing all of your classroom space. I really encourage you to listen to our episodes that we have about classroom setup and how you're utilizing all of the space in your room. And with that, they're not really having desks. They might not have or table supplies. You're moving maybe towards more community supplies. And sometimes kids need a place to have their specific activities for their small group or specific books they're reading, and we don't want them back and forth to cubbies and all of that all day long. So book boxes are a great tool, and also we use them for kids to practice reading independently, as far as just developing a love of books, taking their book box with them, finding a comfortable space to be. Book boxes are such a great tool that I just want to give you some tips on them, how to make them, and how we can best use them with this age. That way they don't just become this thing that they only get out for small groups, or this thing that we only get out when it's like, reading time, everybody get your book boxes and sit down because we need 5 minutes of peace. It's not that. We want them to be a well-used tool. So for book boxes, you can use really any type of book box. If we can link this below, I will. I'm pretty sure they probably still make them, but mine they were from Really Good Stuff. Now, Really Good Stuff is amazing, but they can be a little pricey. However, when I purchased these, hopefully your school would purchase them for you, help you out with that so that it's not falling on you. Maybe your school has book boxes somewhere for you, but mine lasted over 10 years. They are very much worth the investment. So hopefully that could convince your admin as well. Like, hey, these are the book boxes I want. So those were the book boxes I got, which were from Really Good Stuff, but you can probably find them on Amazon and all kinds of school supply places as well. Now, when you're setting up book boxes, here's a tip. Put your students' names on a sticker, but do not put the sticker directly on the book box. Do not use the adhesive side of the sticker. You want these book boxes to last a long time. You want to peel off their names at the end of the year, and you don't want residue. You could use things like Velcro dots and all that, but then they pull them off. So my favorite thing to do is get some packing tape and put the sticker. Do not peel the sticker, but put their name sticker on the book box front, and then use packing tape right over the top of it to secure it, almost like you're just laminating that right on there. Cut the packing tape, smooth it down over. It's clear. It's great. It's not going to be like this most beautiful thing. You're going to see the packing tape as like an overlay. Who cares? I promise you won't care, because they last a long time. And on the last day of school, you're not scrubbing book boxes to get residue off, because you just peel off the packing tape, fresh book box all over again. Okay. Trust me on that one. Okay, so what are we doing with these book boxes? At the beginning of the year, I just want my students to get used to having something with books that they love in them. Books maybe I'm giving them at small group, but also books they love, right? They're 4, 5, 6 years old. We want to develop this excitement. So what we do is we shop. I put like quotes around shop because, we're book shopping, almost like you're at a library. We're going to book shop in the class for 5 books at a time to put inside their book box. If you have really young students, like if you have 4-year-olds, I would start with 3 books. right? Because not always, but most of the time, they can understand 1, 2, 3 books, practicing with them 1, 2, 3. Sometimes going up to 5 with our youngest, it's too confusing, too many, they will miscount them. So 3 books or 5 books, depending on the age of your students, you can help them out. That's it. We're not stuffing these boxes full right now, just a few to get started. Okay? So when it's time, they're going to shop around the room, get the books they like, and they're going to go sit with them for a few minutes at the carpet and look through their books. I also love having book boxes as like a transition activity. After cleanup time or any time that you've got a few minutes, they have extra time. I know that doesn't happen often to us with extra time, but getting your book boxes and reading with a friend can be great because they all bring their book boxes to the carpet. They can read together, look at each other's books. It's a great community builder as well. So they're going to keep these in their book box for however long you decide until they trade them again. Here's a tip also about storing book boxes. This is something I learned and I wish I had done it sooner. I used to put all their book boxes in one spot in the room. All 20 or 25 or whatever book boxes were all together on the book box shelf or on the floor against the wall if I didn't have shelves or wherever. But then every time we needed to get book boxes, all the kids were going to the same place, which means you have to go slowly or excuse them slowly because there's a crowd, blah, blah, blah. What I started doing was putting book boxes in different locations. Like we might have 5 book boxes over here on this shelf with their names on them by one library shelf. Maybe there are 5 book boxes against the wall over here on this shelf. Doesn't have to be perfect. They're just in a spot where kids know where their book box is. And then what happens is when it's time to get your book box, kids are dispersed around the room and it's so much nicer because they're not crowding and elbowing and fighting to get their box because they're all in different spots. So it's very helpful if you can spread them out a little bit. Now, if you're like, I don't have room for this, where's all this room coming from? Like I said, go back and listen to our classroom design episodes. We'll put them in the show notes for you, but that will help you kind of get this understanding. And when you take the play course with us and we map out your room together, it's going to come together a lot more for you. Okay. All right. So now what do we do with when it's time to get books again? Okay. So I'm not going to go into like what all is going in the book box. How do we do small groups? Small groups is an entire module of the play course in module 3, completely about small groups. Okay. So right now I'm just going to tell you the kind of the logistics behind the book box. So now if it's time to put things away and put book boxes or put your books away, how do we do that? Are kids just going and putting their books away themselves or what's happening? Now, my favorite way is to kind of treat it almost like a true library where there's a return box. Okay. So I would take down a box. I didn't have it out all the time. You could, if you have a spot for it, that would be great. But I would take it down, put it out. Everyone would return their books in the box and go get new ones. Mine was not fancy. It was literally a big cardboard box. Seriously. It was a sturdy one that the school had. I was like, this will work. Okay. You don't have to be fancy. And then I reshelved them maybe with a classroom helper or a couple students help you later on to reshelve them. This is helping them practice for returning things in a nice way to the library and also letting your helpers begin to help you put things back, learn where things go without a mad dash of everybody at the same time. Okay, so the helper can help you reshelve the books. That way you can use whichever system you like. I always enjoyed numbering, like not by any sort of level, but numbering like, let's say whatever basket this book was from, it was number 1, nothing to do with a level or any of that. It just had a number. And then the books that belonged in that basket also had a number 1 sticker on the back. This was more so in kindergarten or a little bit older. In preschool, pre-K, when your students are very young, like 3, 4, new 5s, honestly, I found benefit from just having books out and available, and it didn't need to be so specifically organized because, again, that can come a little bit later, but it's up to you and your organizational system for your books and how you want to match them up. But again, the helper can help you put them back. All right, and I already gave the bonus tip. I saved it for the end and I gave it early, but I needed to because I wanted you to know that tip about putting the book boxes around the room versus one shelf. It really does help with traffic flow. And when kids are crowded and there's traffic in the room, that's when management issues can pop up. Okay, if you have more questions about this, send us a message anytime. I would love to have you join us in the play course. It's going to be so great. We have 2 sessions this summer, but then it's not back till next summer. So check the show notes for any links, extra info, go back to any episodes you maybe missed. And then, of course, I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully in the play course as well. And as always, happy teaching.